everyone. Hello, Heart Heroes and Heart Hero family members. We are so excited to be here with you this evening and see Santa Claus. So for many of you that know me, then you know that this is my most favorite time of year. And of all of the events that Heart Heroes offers throughout the year, this is my absolute favorite. Not only because I love Santa Claus, but I love it when all of you guys come running in and you give me a hug and you give me pictures and we get to make ornaments and do all of those amazing things together. So when 2020 hit, I was bummed. And this is the first thing I thought of. And I thought, how can we make this happen? So I called up Santa Claus and I said, Santa, what are we gonna do? And Santa is very worried about getting COVID. And as you know, Santa's kind of getting old. Don't tell anybody I told you that. So I was a little worried about him. So Santa and I decided, well, let's figure out a way to make this happen virtually. And so you should have received the book that Santa sent all of you guys, so you can follow along with him today. And then we are giving him a very special book that you'll get to hear about later today. And then you should have received the big comfy red blanket and the cookies, so you can follow along at home in your PJs and get a chance to see Santa and say hello to him tonight. So stay tuned. We're gonna start. Here's Santa.
Well, thank you, Katie, very much for that introduction. Hello, children. It's so good to see you. Merry Christmas and happy holidays. It's awesome to be here. Unfortunately, with the COVID, I can't be with you personally. So Santa would like to read a couple stories to you tonight. Hopefully you got your books and your cookies. Santa gave them to Kitty to have them passed out. So hopefully you've got those and you can follow along. Today we're going to read Mrs. Claus Takes the Rain by Sue Fleiss, illustrated by Mark Chambers. It's Christmas Eve morning and everything's set, so why hasn't Santa woken up yet? Santa Claus, time to get up. Some hot cocoa, please, in my jumbo-sized cup. I'm stuffy and steezy, and I'm slow as a yeti. My big ho isn't holiday ready. We must cancel Christmas. Oh, what a disgrace. I have a solution. I'll go in your place. So Mrs. Claus quickly assembled a crew. She mapped out a route from Taiwan to Peru. She made a supply list and checked on the weather, and the elves helped her gather the presents together. They gave her a list and they packed her some snacks, then loaded up all the boxes in sacks. Then Mrs. Claus bravely climbed into the sleigh. Don't worry, she said, I'll save Christmas Day. With a snap of the reins, she shot into the night. Merry Christmas to all! Wish me good luck on the flight. After some flying, they spied the first town. She called to the reindeer, let's start heading down. She gracefully shimmied through chimneys with ease, arranging the presents beneath all the trees. This job is so simple, in fact, it's delightful. But soon the wind swirled and the weather turned frightful. She flew through tornadoes, then blizzards and sleet, which nearly blew Mrs. Claus off her seat. The ride became bumpy and things started squeaking. She saw that the fuel on the sleigh had been leaking. Keeping her calm as she stayed in control, she stuffed in some ribbon to plug up the hole. They skidded through Sweden and bounced around Spain, then galloped to Texas and zoomed up to Maine. Look out, shouted Rudolph, an incoming duck. Poor Prancer pulled left and his bridle got stuck. The rein became twisted around Vixen's head, which made them start traveling southbound instead. She had to act fast to untangle the rein. I may not have magic, but I've got a brain. The problem now conquered, they got on back on track. She felt one more present still left in the sack. I'll send it straight down. It's on our very last one. Then Mrs. Claus hollered, "We're finally done." With Rudolph's noise leading the way through the air, they reached North Pole with 10 minutes to spare. She entered the workshop and to her delight discovered the elves had been waiting all night. They lifted her up as they shouted, "Hooray! Our own Mrs. Claus has just saved Christmas Day. Congratulations, Mrs. Claus."
Thank you, Santa. That was awesome. What a great book. So Santa, are you ready? Because we have a very special book that we want you to read next about Santa Claus coming to Nebraska. And I know you guys don't have this book with you at home, but that's okay because you might be hearing it for the first time and you can follow along. Santa's going to read it for us. And I think that you're going to recognize some of these places in Nebraska. So enjoy.
This story is Santa is Coming to Nebraska, written by Steve Smallman, illustrated by Robert Dunn and Luis Suarez. "Well," boomed Santa, "have all the children in Nebraska been good this year?" "Well, mostly," answered the little old elf as he bustled across the busy workshop to Santa's desk. Santa peered down at the elf from behind the tall teetering piles of letters that the children of Nebraska had sent him. "Mostly?" asked Santa, looking over the top of his glasses. "Yes, but they've all been especially good the last few days," said the elf. "Ho, ho, ho, jolly good," chuckled Santa. "Then we'd better get the presents loaded up." Even though the sack of presents was really, really big, and the elves were really, really small, they seemed to have no trouble loading onto Santa's sleigh. Though how they managed to fit such a big sack onto one little sleigh, even they didn't know. But somehow they did. "Splendid," boomed Santa. "We're ready to go." "Not quite, Santa," said the little old elf. "One of our reindeer is missing." "Missing? Which reindeer is missing?" asked Santa. "The youngest one, Santa," said the elf. "It's his first flight tonight. I've called him, but..." Just then the young reindeer strolled up, munching on a large carrot. "Where have you been?" asked Santa. But the youngest reindeer was crunching so loudly that it was no wonder he hadn't heard the old little elf calling. "Oh, well, never mind," said Santa, giving the reindeer a little wink. He took out his Santa nav and tapped in the coordinates for Nebraska. "This will guide us to Nebraska in no time." Crunch, crunch, crunch. With the flick of the reins and a jerk of the harness, off they went racing through the sky. "Ho, ho, ho," laughed Santa. "We'll soon have these presents delivered to the Cornhusker State." Santa's sleigh flew through the starry night, heading south across the Arctic Ocean. On they flew in the wintry air, crossing the coast over British Columbia. In the wink of an eye, the sleigh was flying above the Rockies and on across Wyoming. The youngest reindeer was very excited. He'd never been away from the North Pole before. They just crossed Chimney Rock when suddenly they ran into a blizzard. Snowflakes whirled around the sleigh. They couldn't see a thing. The youngest reindeer was getting a bit worried, but Santa didn't seem concerned. "In 2 miles, said the Santa nav in a bossy lady's voice. "Keep left at the next star." "But ma'am," Santa blustered, I can't see any stars in all this snow. Soon they were hopelessly lost. Then through the howling blizzard, the youngest reindeer heard a faint ringing sound. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. He looked over at the old reindeer with the red nose, but he had his head down. Red nose? I wonder who that could be. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. There was that sound again, like church bells ringing. The youngest reindeer turned around to look at Santa, but Santa wasn't listening. He seemed to be arguing with the little box with the buttons on it. With the flick of the harness and a jerk of the reins, the youngest reindeer gave a sharp tug and headed off towards the sound of the bells, pulling Santa and his sleigh behind him. Whoa! Cried Santa, pulling his hat straight. What's going on? Then, to his surprise, he heard the ringing sound. Well done, young reindeer, he shouted cheerfully. It must be the bells of St. Cecilia Cathedral in Omaha. Don't worry, children. Santa is coming. Then suddenly, crunch! The sleigh hit something as it plummeted through the snow clouds. You have arrived, said the sleigh nav unhelpfully. Finally, when the snow had died down and the clouds parted, Santa discovered exactly where they were. Stuck right at the very top of a Christmas tree near Jocelyn Castle. Everybody pull! The reindeer pulled with all their might until, at last, with a screeching noise, the sleigh scraped clear of the tree. Santa steered them safely along Dodge Street, past Creighton University, over Jocelyn Art Museum, above W. Dale Clark Library, and down into Heartland of America Park. Luckily, there was no real damage done, but the packages had been all jumbled up. Santa quickly sorted out the presents in order again. All right, said Santa. Thanks to this young reindeer, I know where we are. Don't worry, children. Santa is coming. Santa drove his sleigh expertly from rooftop to rooftop, all over Nebraska, popping in and out of chimneys as fast as he could, which was pretty fast for a chubby old fellow. There were big chimneys in Lincoln and small chimneys in Grand Island. He squeezed down the thin chimneys in Kearney and plummeted down the fat chimneys in Valentine. The youngest reindeer was amazed at how quickly they went. Santa never seemed to get tired at all, and it looked like the children in Nebraska were going to be very lucky this year. But the youngest reindeer was starting to feel a little bit weary and quite hungry too. In house after house, Santa delved inside his sack for packages of every shape and size. He piled them under the Christmas trees and carefully filled up the stockings with surprises. In house after house, the good children of Nebraska had left out a large plate of cookies and a small glass of milk and a big, crunchy carrot. Santa took a little bite out of each cookie and a tiny sip of milk. Wiped his beard and popped a carrot into his sack. From North Platte to Norfolk, from Bellevue to Scottsbluff, from Hastings to Sydney, and all the places in between, Santa and his sleigh visited every house in Nebraska. Santa delivered presents to Amelia, Aiden, Blake, Brooklyn, Cooper, Chloe. The list went on and on. Yolanda, Xander, Zachary, Zibble. Zibble? That must be a spelling mistake, surely. Finally, Santa had delivered the last present on his Nebraska list. Good moons and stars, sighed Santa. It's past midnight and my sack seems as heavy as ever. I hope I haven't forgotten anyone. Santa opened his sack to check, but it was full of juicy, crunchy carrots. Santa divided the carrots among all the reindeer. Well done, he said, patting the youngest reindeer gently on the nose. But the youngest reindeer didn't hear him. He was much too busy munching. Then it was time to set off for home. Santa reset his Santa nav once more for the North Pole. And soon they were speeding along the Platte River and out above the Great Plains through the crisp, starry nights. Ho, 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 laughed Santa. Merry Christmas, Nebraska. Well, hopefully all you heart heroes have been excellent this year. Remember, you can always be kind to somebody. It doesn't take anything special to even share something as simple as a smile. Well, Santa's got to get back to the workshop. You guys all have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Thank you, Santa. That was amazing. We wish you a very Merry Christmas, Santa. Okay, everyone, I hope that you enjoyed your evening and you had a chance to just spend some time with your family and you got a chance to see Santa, because he will not be back until 2021. Of course, he'll probably be at your house on Christmas Eve if you've been good. But I want to take a special moment, and I just want to thank a few people that made tonight possible. One of them being, of course, Santa himself, River City Santa. Thank you. I also want to thank Altitude Motion Media for their support in making this happen virtually. And lastly, I want to thank Nathan Holmes for your continued support of Heart Heroes and our family programs that we do here locally. I hope each and every one of you have an amazing Christmas holiday and you have a wonderful new year. And let's just hope that we can find a new normal and get back to seeing each other in person in 2021. Thank you so much.